Imagine every dream you had as a child came true. Imagine you had enough money to live anywhere you wanted, work as much as you wanted, and answer to no one. Imagine you were a millionaire. It's possible, but only if you know how to change your brain. The most important video of your life begins in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If I told you I can give you the brain of a millionaire in the next 7 days, would you take it? If I told you you could get that millionaire brain and be propelled almost effortlessly towards a lifetime of true wealth just by watching a few movie previews, would you do it? Think that sounds impossible? Well, buckle up. Hold onto your hat because here we go. Listen, you're skeptical. You've heard big claims before and they didn't pan out. I get it. If you are anything like I was, you're also frustrated. Frustrated that there never seems to be enough month left at the end of the money. That your dreams of retirement are fading and your expenses keep going up. Some of you are carrying debts you can't ever seem to shake. Others have tried starting businesses that flop, or they succeed and wind up being just as much work as your old job. You secretly ask yourself, is this it? Is this what the rest of my life is going to look like? You know deep inside that unless something big changes, this is exactly what the rest of your life is going to look like. If you can relate to that, I have very good news for you. The answer to all of this is right under your nose. You're about to discover what separates you from a Bill Gates or a Steve Jobs. This secret is the reason that the rich will continue to get richer and the poor keep getting poorer. It's the real reason you will keep buying course after course after course about how to make money, and while your bank account continues to hover around empty. In just 5 minutes into this video, you'll know that secret. And when you do, you'll know exactly how to turn your life around 180 degrees and easily create incredible and dependable wealth in your life faster than you ever dreamed possible. You will remember the day you found this video for the rest of your life. So I urge you, remove every distraction around you. Turn off your phone. Lock the door, turn up the volume, and stay completely focused until this video is totally finished. Because in addition to learning the secret, I'm going to give you something for free at the end of this video that can make you a tremendous amount of money on its own. We'll be removing that gift in a few days. This is probably your only shot at getting it.
I'm Winter V, and I'm owner of the fastest growing online company in the world. And I also consult for Fortune 500 companies regularly on how to help them reach their growth potential. And, well, I have something to tell you. If you aren't where you want to be financially, listen carefully. Because it's not your fault. That's right, it's not your fault at all. It's not that you haven't worked hard enough. It's not that you haven't been using the law of attraction right. Believe it or not, the problem is not even in your conscious mind or your unconscious mind. No, There's a force going on behind the scenes that's far, far more powerful than all of that. Something that's decided how your life was going to go since you were just a child. Something that affects how, well, really every other method that you were ever taught about how to be wealthy really works. Now, to understand what's going on here, there's a story that I need you to hear.
6:35, new overnight, a car crashed into a wood shop in North Portland, leaving a big mess for the owners. This happened around 1 o'clock this morning near North Columbia and Interstate Place. Look at that video. The entire car is in the building. Police on scene tell us someone was sleeping upstairs when the crash happened, but that person is okay. No word if the driver was hurt.
It was Columbia Avenue in Portland, Oregon. There I was, drunk, behind the wheel of a Toyota Matrix that had completely lost traction with the road. As that car spun around, any sane person would have gripped the wheel like a bear protecting its cub. Me, I took my hands off the wheel. Because in that single moment, in the calm of the eye of the storm, I was happy to die. You're probably wondering how I got to that point, and I'll tell you. You can call it bad karma. You can call it bad luck or a punishment from God. It's up to you. All I know was in the year 2012, life had dealt me a merciless beatdown. It started with a buzz on my cell phone. It was about my mother. She had been battling some health issues, and thus far it was an unknown disease. She was being rushed to the hospital. They really had no way of treating it. Experts flew in from everywhere. It went on for months, until she became trapped in her own body, unable to communicate or even move. Ultimately, she chose to end her life. No, she didn't silently one night kill herself. She took advantage of some laws in her home state, which allowed her to ingest an actual death pill. Her demise was scheduled on a Monday morning. I painfully remember the days leading up to that Monday. The state provided assistance in what was needed. She took her pill. She took a lot longer to go than she was supposed to. I held her in my arms as she breathed her last breath, whispering to her that her children would all be okay. You'd think I'd have a minute to mourn for my mom. I didn't have a second. I was trapped in a relationship with an abusive girlfriend that I didn't know how to leave. And I was also trapped in debt because a few wrong moves in my catering business left me in debt to the IRS to the tune of $32,000 that I had no way of paying back. And guess what? When you're over $25,000 in debt to the IRS, they don't accept installment payments. How kind of them. They would be leaving my bank account soon. So I took a low-paying IT job to try to stop the bleeding. But I lost that job on my 26th birthday, 2 days before Christmas. With no end in sight to this real-life horror film, I turned to the bottle. One shot led to another, and before I even knew what was happening, I was a raging alcoholic. I know it seems hard to believe that this all could happen to one person in a single year. I didn't believe it either, which is why I had to drink enough to make sure I never had to face it. That's why I embraced death that night in the car. Because whatever death was, it couldn't possibly be worse than what I was feeling. Now, let me bring you to August of 2014. As of today, I haven't had a drink in over 23 months. And you see that? That's me jumping out of a plane in New Zealand, totally sober. And this is what I call home now. These are my cars. And since that bad accident, I've made well over $1.5 million from an online business I started. This making me the fastest growing internet marketer to date, which is why wherever I go, everyone pesters me constantly with the same question. So what's your secret? And we'll get to that now. Well, after surviving the drunk driving incident, I found myself in jail for several days with no booze to dull my emotions, no real distractions. There was just me and my thoughts, and something really took me a sudden. I began to notice all the negativity floating around in my head about life, about myself, about my abilities to do anything right, how I'm no good with money, how I didn't do enough for my mom, how I will never find someone who truly cares about me. Why was I thinking like this? Had never thought like that before. It was like I'd been poisoned mental toxins somewhere down the line. Ever since the tragedy with my mother, that event kicked off a destructive pattern that was destroying my life. It was my own mind that had become my enemy. When I got out, I went online to find something that would get me out of the real prison, the mental prison I'd created for myself. I tried it all. Maybe I was just stubborn, not really sure. All I know is I bought about 20 different personal development products. Nothing worked for me. Still addicted, still broke, and still angry. I religiously practiced the law of attraction. I tried hypnotherapists, meditation, therapy. I got this feeling that something was missing, like I was looking in the wrong place. The problem was deeper than my thoughts, because my thoughts just kept snapping back to the way they used to be, no matter what I did. One day I was flipping through a book and came across a quote from the greatest doctors in history, Hippocrates. From the brain come all joys, delights, laughter and sports, and sorrows, griefs, despondency, and lamentations. By the brain we become mad and delirious, and fears and terrors assail us all. All these things we endure from the brain when it is not healthy. I started to think about it. What if my brain was behind all of this? Maybe my brain was the reason I wasn't able to think and grow rich. The more I thought about it, the more it made sense to me. I'm a programmer, and I know that if your hardware is shot, you can have the best software, and it just won't work. And if you pour the best wine into a broken glass, well, that won't work either. I figured that's sort of what's been happening with all the work everyone is doing with their thoughts. All their hard work is following through the cracks. I had no job, and I love to learn new things. So I went all in and spent over 100 hours researching the brain. And this is what I found out. Your brain has over 100 billion neurons, sort of like cities. But these cities are not all connected. If neurons have highways, called synapses, connecting them to each other, the electrical signal flows and that part of the brain works better. What I discovered next was huge. After it was all said and done, I realized that if you saw a map of these neural connections, you will see a map of your life. It's amazing. Your brain is basically a roadmap that decides what direction your life will take. It decides how you react, how you process information, how much motivation you have, how much musical talent you have, and most importantly, the creativity, planning ability, and motivation that makes people rich. Well, it turns out rich people's brains are conditioned one, and most other people's brains are conditioned another. That is the only difference between you and a Bill Gates. If he hadn't made money with Microsoft, he'd have made money somewhere else. He has a rich person's brain. That's why when rich people start one business successfully, they usually are successful with the others too. Because it doesn't really matter what business they are in. They are wired for success. It just comes to them naturally. They have very strong neural connections, and the qualities that make you successful with money. Acumen, foresight, drive, inspiration, risk assessment. Then there's the rest of us. We've got roadblocks in those areas. We try to break through to wealth, but we just keep hitting up against the wall and going back home because those pathways just aren't open to us. It's like we're stuck on repeat. That's why each day seems a little like Groundhog Day. You go to the same job, taking the same roads, drinking the same coffee, and getting the same results. But how do you change it? Is it even possible to change it? Well, nobody thought you could, until scientists discovered only recently something called brain plasticity, the ability to reshape your brain. This was the golden nugget that I was looking for. I spent another 75 hours just on brain plasticity. I figured if I could reshape my brain, I could reshape my life. I went through hundreds of government studies, hundreds of academic research papers. I knew the librarian like a brother. Until I'd read every article I could about brain plasticity, then I delved into the medical research. Until one day, I discovered a small government-funded study done in 1993 with 50 college students. In this experiment, they found they were able to create radical changes in neural function, allowing them to get 25% improvement in a new skill in just 7 days. Just 7 days to a new brain. How was this possible? I found out the strategy they were using. I couldn't believe it. This was a true breakthrough. How come I didn't hear about this on the news? I didn't know, but I knew it was powerful. Money problems were at the top of my mind. So one of my first thoughts was, what if I use this for wealth? What if I could use it to get me out of this financial mess? So I started using the method for all the key parts of the brain needed for money making, tweaking them to make them work for me and for that specific purpose. It was really weird, but after a few weeks of doing this, I noticed my attitude started to change. I started to see things more clearly. My dreams about money just came more into focus and became more real to me, more doable. Suddenly, I knew exactly what I needed to do. And with no hesitation, I started to do it. All that procrastination and laziness that was keeping me on the couch was gone. I started to really enjoy the work I was doing. It just flowed. Ideas started to come. Good, solid ideas. I started moving forward. And I was actually attracting partnerships that I was never able to get. People just looked at me differently, like I was going somewhere. I launched my first product, and it took off. Made me $22,489 in the first week I launched. I was shocked. The next week, it made me $45,489. Now I was just floored, and it kept going from there. I had to hire 3 support reps just to keep up. By the end of the year, I turned around and realized I had netted over $1.2 million. I had cleared all of my debts, bought my first home, paid in cash, and a girlfriend who I absolutely love and who loves me back just the same. It all came back to that method. The method was great, but it took a lot of time and effort to do. So the programmer in me asked, how could I make this more efficient? I wanted to see even bigger results even faster. And why not make it more fun? So I actually enjoy doing it. I was watching a movie preview at the time, and I thought to myself, everybody loves movie previews, and they seem really to have a big impact on us at a deep emotional level. How much more powerful would that be? What if I combine the power of a movie preview to this brain reshaping method? Well, guess what? I ran an ad on Craigslist for people willing to partake in a 1-week experiment. We used the movie preview method, and I was absolutely astounded. My method beat out the experiment by 120% in the same 7 days. With one catch. Instead of spending 30 minutes a day, we were just spending 90 seconds, 2 times a day. Word got out about this experiment. You may have seen our brain miracle featured in several major medical news sites. Today, I have several neuroscientists who swear by my movie preview method. We're currently working on a published study in a major peer-reviewed journal. One of the first people I tried it on was my sister Kara. She was unemployed for 2 years. Yep, it runs in the family. She watched the movie previews every day for an entire month. She landed a new job by day 12. She swears by this method now. I wanted to see what would happen if someone used it who already had some money. So I offered to do it for an entrepreneur known as CJ. He said, why not? In the first 3 months after using it, his profits went from $120,000 per month to $350,000 per month. He told me he couldn't describe why. Things just seemed lighter, easier. He was more creative. He was having more fun. I began to realize that this was it. This is what the world had been missing. This is the real road to true wealth. It turns out, true wealth is only built on a certain kind of brain. I created the system to shape that kind of brain. I've now perfected the system so well that, like clockwork, I can get someone started with this system and see their income rise at least 20, 30, even 50% in their first month of using it. In short, I can now confidently say that I can hardwire your brain for wealth, giving you the brain of a millionaire. All the right neural pathways. So you think like a millionaire, act like a millionaire. You will get the results of a millionaire. And that's why I call this system
The Millionaire Brain Academy.
the surest and fastest way to live out your financial dreams. How do I know? Because I did it for myself. Have a look. This is what my bank account looked like after just using the system for 6 months. And I'm not the only one. Check this out.
It's Jason. I just want to get in touch with you to let you know that the Millionaire Brain has been the most rewarding experience of my life. I felt like I was tied up my whole life. Suddenly, I'm free. Suddenly, where I saw misery, I see opportunities. I have the motivation, the drive. My wife, she can't believe that I am finally taking action on the business that I've always wanted to start. Oh, and get this. I just made $6,486 this past week. I have a clear chart to $1 million, and I'm not going to stop until I hit it.
Winter, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't fully know how to thank you. I've been promoted twice in the last 6 months. That never happens at my company. My income has increased from $45,000 a year to $65,000 a year. I can totally see that corner office coming my way. You know, I can't quite say that I understand how it really works. I just know that it does. Obstacles seem to just disappear. I can truly say that I have the millionaire brain. Thank you.
Winter, my buddy, you know me from high school. You know, I started out in finance and then I went on to day trading. Well, you were always the smart kid in the class. So when I saw you had a course, I had to try it. Get this. I was barely eking out a living before Millionaire's Brain. After the course, I am profitable on 72% of my trades. They're now offering me the biggest account in the firm. Everybody keeps asking me what my secret is. Now, that's between you and me. I'm keeping this secret to myself.
Folks, these are real testimonials. These are just 3 out of hundreds of stories I've received from the Millionaire's Brain success. Their lives will never be the same. Give me 7 days, and I can do it for you. I can give you a new brain with all the power, creativity, and the drive you had when you were a child, with all the opportunities of an adult. A brain that's faster, smarter, more confident, more savvy, a mind that thinks just like the rich. And you'll be able to do it just by watching 90-second movie previews and going through the Millionaire's Brain product. I've taken all the most powerful modalities, the ones that have gotten people the most results in the shortest amount of time. Through hundreds of hours of testing, now it's easy as pie. And it is by far the most advanced personal growth system yet. As I may have already mentioned, it's called the
Millionaire Brain Academy.
With the Millionaire's Brain, you don't need to do any research. We've already tested it through and through. All you're going to do is press play on these 90-second movie previews and use the Millionaire's Brain. Follow our simple routine that fits right into your normal day, and your brain will start to change. Connections will start to be made. You'll notice it because your feelings will change, your moods. You'll notice new perceptibility, new curiosity. You'll be able to plan your financial future with crystal clear clarity. Desire to get up and go after those goals, like you've got a jetpack. That's right. Just by watching these short videos and using the product, you can delete the failures of the past. So there are no limits on your future. Suddenly see absolutely everything you need to do to create the financial future you always dreamed of. Doors will start opening to you. It's really a full-scale reboot on your entire life. Imagine, no matter how old you think you are, bring back the spring in your step, to have a better sense of humor, more likability, more intuition. Imagine you could just eliminate procrastination from your life. I'll show you how. Imagine you had remarkable goal setting and power of execution. Imagine being calm under pressure, always on. The ability to focus 6 hours straight without taking a break. It's way easier than you think. When you know to change your brain, we're just going to remove the roadblocks. Using these short little movie previews will automatically clear away the dirt, the glue, the viruses that have been plaguing your brain. You don't really know what you're capable of, but you will. The Millionaire's Brain is going to leave you feeling like a new man or a new woman because your computer hardware is going to be brand new. Get ready to swap out your old brain for the Millionaire's Brain. Here are the tools we're going to give you inside the Millionaire's Brain. We're going to give you access to the Brain Reboot. It's just what it sounds like. It's going to remove all the things holding you back from being rich and give you a completely fresh start. Brain Shaper. This is where we mold the brain into a millionaire's brain. You'll feel the changes in the very first day. Brain Optimizer. Making your millionaire brain work faster and more efficiently, and how to keep it up to doing it. In addition, we're going to include the most coveted manual to wealth I have ever seen. You will have a complete map from where you are to over $1 million, and you won't even have to think about it. We're calling it the Money Code. Now, there is one more product I want to give you, although I can't offer this for long. This product is called the Millionaire Mindset. If you have the right thoughts on top of the right brain, it can multiply your results 5 times over. That's a fact. From the few people who have combined the Millionaire Mindset with the Millionaire Brain, the results are just going crazy. Up as high as 70% over those who just use the Millionaire Brain alone. Now that's something serious. And the speed of getting results going up about 45% on average. But I also want you to know that when you're in the Millionaire Brain program, you're guaranteed to succeed.
Because I'm going to be in there every step of the way, making sure you do. I'm going to be there for you, along with my team, holding your hand all the way to the finish line until you've reached your financial goals. Because we're doing this together. Now, I know you're thinking about the price of the Millionaire's Brain, and we'll get to it. But first, let me ask you a question. What would it be worth to save your life? What would it be worth to pay to have someone save your life for you? Now, honestly, is there anything that you wouldn't pay? What about saving your financial life? What would you pay if you knew that someone could do that for you? Now, I imagine it's hard to say. It's hard to put a price on being able to live the life of a millionaire. But, well, we had to start somewhere. So we thought about the fact that we have centers using this program for their partners, and they license it for $5,000. Now, we understand you're not an organization, so we're not going to charge you $5,000. My first thought was $1,000 because my colleagues took one look at the program and honestly, they stated to me, if you don't charge at least $1,000, I'm going to pound you. Well, I appreciate that advice and their offer of good old-fashioned pounding. I'd rather worry less about them and honestly more about you, which is why I slashed the price from $1,000 to $500. Now, honestly, some people told me that they still can't afford that $500 price tag. So I considered $250. I even considered $150. And if I can get this program in your hands today, well, I'll have a lot of rich friends. And I like having rich friends. So basically, I'm going to give you all the profits. And just to ensure we're covering our bases, we're going to give away the Millionaire Brain Academy today for just $47 and not a penny more. Now, this only applies until we reach the number of people that we can handle. Once we fill up, we're filled up. Nobody else will be able to get in, no matter how much you beg.
I know some of you are still skeptical, thinking, do I really know if it'll work for me like they say it will? Or is this going to be a repeat of every other overhyped product I've bought? So this is what I have to say to that. Don't believe me. Don't trust me at all. Just try it for yourself. I'll give you 60 days to try it, and I'll let you decide if I'm telling the truth. How am I going to do that? Because I'm going to protect you fully with a double barrel, no questions asked, 100% money back guarantee. If you don't feel like you have a new brain, if you don't feel brand new, I'll give you your money back. And if you're not happy with the product for any old reason at all, I give you your money back. You say the word. You got it. We don't mess around about it. I know you're going to be singing the praises of this product. Folks, I was given the greatest gift of life, the ability to take my brain and rewire it, the gift that saved my life. I want to give that gift to you. I promise you, when you change the brain, everything else changes all the way down. I'm offering you the ability to really fully experience everything life has to offer. To stop wishing for what you want and to start dialing in what you want. It's so simple. You're going to laugh when you see it. All you need to do now is go get it. I'm going to ask you to take your mouse and click the yellow button below to secure your copy of The Millionaire's Brain. When you click the button below, you'll fill out a short form on a 100% secure page, and then you'll get instant access to The Millionaire's Brain, even if it's 3 a.m. Follow alone. Watch the movie previews. Go through the product. You'll be seeing tangible results in your bank account in just 7 days. Hit that button now. After all, what's the cost of not doing this? What's the cost of going along the rest of your life with a brain that's wired for failure? How many more late fees can you stomach? How much longer can you stand that debt? How long can you spend worrying about how you'll support yourself when you're 80 years old? And all those overdraft fees. What about the stress? And what about your health? Instead, you could be traveling, getting regular massages, learning new languages, pampering your spouse, and pampering yourself. Why not, right? Well, you've struggled enough. Let me help you reach your dreams. And let's start right now. I want to get this program in your hands, and I can in the next 120 seconds, so we can begin the transformation process. Listen to my instructions carefully. Hit the big yellow button below right now. You'll see a page like this. Fill out the form there. Then we'll give you some really cool ways to customize your order. And you'll be directed right to the product. So you can develop your millionaire brain in the next 7 days. Do it now. I'll see you on the other side. Whether you're interested in buying or not, you'll want to pick it up anyway. Why? Because this site might not be here tomorrow, and you can always refund it if you're not happy. In fact, you can refund for any reason at all. That means there's nothing to lose and a wealthy life to gain. Don't even feel bad for asking for the refund. Our support staff won't even know your name. And heck, that's what the guarantee is there for. Hit the button below. Let's start bringing wealth into your life. If you're still here, you probably have some questions. I've read every personal development course out there. How is this different? So that's a great question. While most courses focus on the conscious or subconscious mind, we get to the root of the problem by rewiring the neural pathways that made you think that way in the first place. Your thoughts and attitudes don't come from nowhere. They come from your brain. Is this a physical product that will be shipped to me? Well, this is a digital product that you will be able to view from our members area or download to your computer. This allows us to keep our costs down and charge you far, far less. Plus, you can get access to it right now. I'm terrible with money, and nothing I've ever tried works. Will this really work for me? Yes, we have had hundreds upon hundreds of testimonials to prove it. No one has been worse with money than myself. And I personally have used this method to generate well over $1 million starting from scratch. What if I have questions? Well, me and my expert staff are standing by at all times, ready to give you a hand and make sure you have stunningly good results. What if I'm already financially well off? We have many high-level CEOs and high-level executives who are doing well and are now doing even better with the Millionaire's Brain. How much time do I have to put into this course? Well, the videos are only 90 seconds. You should be watching those twice a day. There are a few other routines we recommend you implement, but these will not take up much time as they're doing the things you normally do with a simple couple tweaks. Is my order secure? Incredibly so. We have the same level of security as you would find at your bank. Our processor is the most trusted online processor for over the last 10 years, with millions of transactions. If you got any more questions, you can email our support staff at support@millionairebrainacademy.com. Hit the button now to lock in your discount and the most powerful wealth building system on earth.
When you were a kid, you had dreams. What happened to them? What happened? Was your brain changed? Well, all we need to do to succeed is get that back. Unlock the door to your dreams. Now, don't just do it for yourself. Think about all the people you can help, the charity that you can give, the kids and the wife you can spoil. All the possibilities in life open up to you when you know how to open up the pathways of your brain. Now, we have people getting results with this program every single day. Our inbox is absolutely full of them. Let's hear from one of them now.
Winter, you're my savior. Terrible gambling problem? Changed. And now money is coming my direction instead of leaving it. This is repairing my family, my relationship with my husband. It's changed literally everything. I've never felt so good, so clear. It's like I've gotten a completely upgraded brain. That was Victoria from Queens.
Want to be the next success story? All you need to do is hit the button below.
Think about this. Doing nothing right now is doing something. If you don't hit the buy button, it's staying behind the walls you've built for yourself. The walls that are holding back your life. Most of you will die in those walls. All because we never learned how to change our brain. Your brain is the only thing holding you back. It can be your biggest enemy or your most powerful ally. It's really that simple. Change the brain and change everything. Hit the button. Time is running out. Hit the button now and let's get started. You know what's unique about this program? Unlike other programs out there, you feel the change right away. The first thing you'll notice is a strong feeling of optimism. You'll get back that childlike curiosity and openness, a hunger for life. Don't you deserve that? I think so. Hit the button below. It's going to be so easy you won't believe it. Hit the button and I'll see you on the other side. Do you know why you haven't clicked that button yet? It's your brain. It's just another neural pathway telling you that this one is going to be just like all the other ones. It's another routine that's keeping you exactly where you are, with the same paycheck and a bank account always hovering around empty. What do you think your future will really look like? Statistics show that whatever tax bracket you were in for the first 10 years of your life is the one you will stay in for the rest of your life. If you don't make the change now, when will you make the change? With every day that goes by, those childhood dreams fade further and further away. Let me show you how to bring those dreams back. When you know how to change the brain, you will see miracles in your life. You're not really in a rut. Your brain is just programmed to keep you poor. It's a survival mechanism, but it's costing you the life you really want. Take a stand for your life. Take a stand for your happiness. The button below is the key. Click the button below one time now and watch what happens.